A 43-year-old Otter Tail County Deputy Kelly Backman is now facing charges of alleged drug use while taking part in a deadly pursuit last October 2nd. On October 2nd, Backman was working as a narcotics officer trying to make a buy from Cody Freetag when a pursuit started, and Freetag crashed into another vehicle here in Fergus Falls, killing Stephen and Diane Christensen. Deputy Kelly Backman has now been charged with gross misdemeanor misconduct by a public officer and misdemeanor DWI, operate a motor vehicle under the influence of a controlled substance, in this case, fentanyl. Now, following the crash, a detective and lieutenant were called in to help with the investigation and made contact with the two deputies who took part in it, Deputy Michael Wing and Deputy Kelly Backman. Reading from the criminal complaint, quote, "The Deputy Wing was asked to provide a voluntary blood sample, which he did. The result of the test showed no ethyl alcohol or controlled substance in Deputy Wing's system while he was on duty or while he was acting in his official capacity as a deputy. Detective and lieutenant also made contact with Deputy Backman and requested a voluntary blood sample, which Deputy Backman refused to provide. Deputy Backman provided a preliminary breath test that showed no presence of ethyl alcohol. Deputy Backman was taken to the Otter Tail Sheriff's Office, where he was observed and accompanied until a blood sample could be drawn. A blood sample was taken and sent to a local laboratory for testing. The results of the blood sample indicated that Deputy Backman, during the time he was acting in his official capacity as a deputy, and operating an official vehicle belonging to the Drug Task Force, that he was positive for alprazolam. That's a anxiety drug, which Deputy Backman was prescribed. Deputy Backman also tested positive for fentanyl and norfentanyl, which is a Schedule II controlled substance. The quantitative test results showed a level of fentanyl at 3 nanograms per milliliter, and the level for norfentanyl at 1.7 nanograms per milliliter. A therapeutic range for fentanyl would indicate 1 nanogram per milliliter and would indicate that Deputy Backman was under the influence of fentanyl, a controlled substance, at the time he was operating his squad car. As part of the investigation, Fergus Falls police served a search warrant to obtain the blood draw evidence, as well as determining that certain discrepancies existed involving some of Deputy Backman's work as a narcotics investigator. Case file which occurred on August 17th of 2020. The case was a traffic stop in which methamphetamine and fentanyl were found. Those items were logged into evidence and accounted for. Deputy Backman stated in his report that a glass pipe laced with methamphetamine residue was discovered in the glove box of the car wrapped in tissue paper. This item was not logged and was not accounted for in the case, which occurred in another case dated August 29th, 2020. The case was a traffic stop where the driver was arrested for driving under the influence of a controlled substance. Deputy Backman indicated in his report that he received information that the occupants of the vehicle may be in possession of heroin and were coming to the area to make contact with someone who sells heroin and fentanyl. Deputy Backman indicated in his report that he located drug paraphernalia that included tinfoil that appeared to have been used to smoke controlled substances, as well as a vial of a white powdery substance. Deputy Backman indicated the vial, which he believed to contain either cocaine or fentanyl, would be sent to the BCA lab for further analysis. There is no record that the evidence was ever logged or sent to the BCA for testing. As part of the search warrant, officers went through Deputy Backman's desk and lockers. As part of the search, a large baggie of glass pipes and grinders were located and seized. Officers attempted to determine if any of the pipes were similar in descriptions to the ones missing from the case files, but none were located. Also located in Deputy Backman's office was a small plastic vial with no lid that appeared to be empty, with just a few small areas of what appeared to be white residue. The vial was seized and inventoried. Finally, officers searched a temporary evidence locker that only Deputy Backman had access to and located a Pelican-style case that had tinfoil that appeared burnt. Also in the case was a small plastic bottle with a blue lid that contained a white powdery substance as well as a scale. It was determined that these items could match items from another case, but it was inconclusive. Unquote. That was from the criminal complaint. And now this email to iNewZ from Otter Tail County Sheriff Barry Fitzgibbons regarding Deputy Backman's employment status. Quote, I received your inquiry regarding Deputy Backman on Friday, February 19th, 2021. Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office Deputy Kelly Backman was charged with misconduct of a public official and fourth-degree DWI as a result of his involvement in the pursuit on October 2nd, 2020. The alleged facts in the criminal investigation are disappointing and not indicative of the high standards we set for law enforcement personnel. There is an active administrative investigation now that the criminal investigation has been completed. Deputy Kelly Backman is currently employed with the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office. Until completion of the administrative investigation, I will be unable to comment further. That was from Sheriff Barry Fitzgibbons of Otter Tail County. We'll keep you updated on this ongoing investigation. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNewZ.TV.